Hey folks, Marty Golden out of Fly Creek Kennel. So today I wanted to put a video together comparing these two starter pistols. I believe the starter pistol is one of the most important tools in your toolbox when it comes to training your dog. Why is that? Because not only do we want to condition our dogs to gunfire at a young age, and this is a great way to do it, but as you move on through your training, it's really important to continue to incorporate gunshot, therefore making it normal, okay? Most often I see dogs breaking when they're out hunting because they're not really training with a lot of gunfire. And this can be some of the safest and cheapest ways to incorporate that gunfire into your training. So the two that I have here today are what I would consider, based on my experience, the two best starter pistols on the market. They come in a 209 caliber, a 22 caliber, and a 32 caliber. So the Alpha, which is this one I have here, is the one that I used for many, many years before I played with the Charter arms, okay? The Alpha's been a good gun. It's a heavy duty starter pistol. These two models, just so you know, are a 209 primer. And for many years, I recommended to my clients that they get the 209 primer version just because primers were cheap and easy to get a hold of. Not so much anymore. 209 primers are actually much more difficult to get a hold of now because everybody is afraid and hoarding ammunition and also hoarding the pieces to load ammunition, 209 primers being a major part of that. So for the last couple of years, it's been challenging for me to actually find 209 primers, although I do have some in stock for this upcoming training season. And anytime that I see them at the store, I try to buy a bunch. Anyway, they sell these in a 22, which I would probably now recommend doing, even though you're going to pay a little bit more for them. Accessibility is worth something, and being able to get a hold of the ammunition for these is crucial, okay? And just make sure you read the instructions on these and that you're loading the proper ammunition in them. These are unloaded just for a safety check. I will check the chambers and make sure that they do not have any ammunition, or primers in this case, in them, okay? They are both a double action mechanism, which means I can hold the hammer back and pull the trigger, or I can just simply pull the trigger, okay? Same for the Alpha, double action, okay? Both very loud for what I use them for. I'm not a field trial trainer, I am a gun dog trainer, and these tend to have enough pop and bang to excite the dogs, and also, again, if I've got a helper out in the field shooting one of them, enough to get the dog's attention, okay? So let me just explain some of the differences. One, obviously you can see they're both have a blaze orange incorporated them, and this is really important because if you drop this out in the field, you're gonna wanna be able to see it. Alpha does come with a wood handle and then a black kind of metal, which in my opinion, it's a little bit cheaper, but for the extra money that you save, it's not worth it, because if you lose this out in the field, you're going to be frustrated looking for it. So for many years, I used one of these. I'll just say this. I used one of these for many years before Charter even came out with this one. I will say, though, that I've had to replace, even though they have a lifetime guarantee on this starter pistol, what it requires is taking this gun and sending it off to their specialized gunsmith if something happens to it. You obviously have to have proof of purchase and have it registered with the company in order to meet the requirements to have that lifetime warranty. They've been good to me, but sometimes it doesn't always get fixed and I have to send it back. That shipping is on me. And as a professional gun dog trainer, I cannot be without my starter pistol. So for years I've decided, okay, it's always important for me to have at least two on hand. And this is my latest version of the Alpha, which I'm assuming at some point will start to give me some problems. When it does, I'm not going to have that repaired. I am going to replace it with one of these Charters. And this is mainly why. This gun has less to it in the sense that, you know, this is used, you can see, and it's not cleaned, and I've done that on purpose. I didn't want to show up at this video with a cleaned gun. This takes a lot of abuse in this area where all your black powder is getting kicked out. Unfortunately, the Alfa really captures all of that black powder and a lot of times blows back and captures it inside of all this mechanism in here that's required to shoot the gun properly. If it gets dirty, if it gets backed up, you can't just open this and clean this. It is really, really difficult, and it voids warranty if you do something wrong, okay? And there's a lot of moving parts in here. And for somebody like myself who's not a gunsmith, this is a learning process if you take this thing apart. Okay, so there's just less to it. There's less for your black powder to get gunked up and make, you know, things not work properly. It has a lot of airflow to it, and it allows a lot of that black powder to just get shot out of this gun. Easier to clean, in my opinion. Okay, you can get in there with a brush, you can clean that very easily, and then of course, you know, just put it back together and go use it. Both have a D-ring, or an O-ring, excuse me. I don't use this often, but I have seen guys attach strings to these with some clips and then attach it to their belt loop. That way if they do drop it, they don't lose it. Just never been a big fan of that. Maybe what you could do with this is take some orange ribbon and tie it to this so you've got more of a way to see it if you do drop it in some tall grass. But when I'm quick drawing this and using it, I don't like to have it attached to me. Other big difference in these guns is this is significantly lighter. The Charter Arms starter pistol is much lighter than the Alfa, okay? Not to the point where it's gonna make much of a difference for me, but I mean, it's got less material to it and it's just as strong, okay? So that's one of the big differences you see when you pick these two guns up right away. Now, I will say, one of the things about the Alfa that I really do like is my injector here, okay? I can pop out my primers very easily, okay? And very almost one-handed I can do it. When I'm out there in the field and I'm working, you know, reloading this, it's very simple to do. I had to get familiar with this. It's not as easy to open up and to pop those out. Now you would think, well, what's the big deal, Marty? That doesn't look that tough. But it is, and it's a little bit smaller, it's a little less to grab a hold of, and it was something for my muscle memory to have to get used to when using this gun. The other thing I will say is that when I first purchased this gun and started using it, my primers, sometimes I use CCI, sometimes I use Winchester. The Winchester fit better in here. They didn't stick as hard. So when I went to empty it, the Winchesters would pop out much easier. Whereas my other brands, CCI or whatever it was I was using, would stick a little bit more and making it much more challenging for me to get those primers out. And look, convenience, time is money when you're out in the field, and I just want things to flow and move easy. So what I did, if you decide to get one of these Charters and you notice, man, my primers that I'm using for this are really sticky and they're sticking in there, what I did was I took a small metal file, and I just rubbed it in there gently, back and forth, each hole, back and forth, as if I was cleaning it out. Not aggressively, just gently enough to put a little normal wear and tear in there. So now, when I go to put my primer in there, I can put a Winchester, I can put a CCI, and they both are going to come out much easier. Okay, I'll show you that again. Put that in there. Now these CCIs were the ones that were sticking. It would be very difficult for me to do that. Okay, so now I just very easily pop them out. So I guess in conclusion, two things I would say. One is if you are going to get serious about training your gun dog, you need to purchase a starter pistol. At this day and age, at this stage of the game, I would probably recommend your 22 crimps because they're a little easier to get a hold of. Yes, they do cost a little bit more, but again, you're probably not going to use this as much as a pro would. I'm probably shooting this gun off minimum 150 times a week. I'd be surprised if the amateur dog trainer is shooting their gun off that much. So again, price is not going to be much of a difference for you guys. For me, 209 primers are cheaper. It's more affordable for me to train other people's dogs with it. But if I were an amateur and I were looking to make sure that I had ammunition for my gun, I would probably go with the 22 version of this. Okay, and I would certainly recommend Charter Arms over Alfa. Alfa's been good to me, but this is an honest review. And if I'm getting another gun, I'm going with the Charter Arms. I will tell you, the price is somewhat different. The Alpha is $219.95. The Charter is $269. Okay, so you're looking at spending over another 40, 50 bucks to have this, but you're already in it by a couple $100. So if you're going to look to get a starter pistol, this is the one that I would recommend, and you probably have it for life. So this is the one that I think you should get. I'll put a link below on where you can find it, and you can also get some ammunition there. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll catch you on the next one.